Cowboy Toy from the electric city of Ho Chi Minh City. Welcome back to Vietnam Crypto Insights, where we try to make sense of the digital Wild West while dodging grab bikes and deciphering whether that dip was just another buying opportunity or just another day. I'm Terrence, longtime investor of crypto assets and an enthusiast, as well as a resident of Vietnam. Glad you can join us. This is your first time. Hope you hopefully enjoy. Subscribe later on. But let's dig in. You know, we have a couple of food staples here in Vietnam, from the durian, aka stinky fruit, and bitter melon. Both are not for the faint of heart. Stinky fruit because of its smell, and bitter melon, it's extremely bitter. There was a famous daredevil foodie that couldn't even stomach stinky fruit a few years back. He had a video shoot on that while he was in Vietnam. And this guy at Bizarre Foods, he would travel the world and eat stuff like donkey peanuts and all sorts of strange things. But both of these foods are really healthy for you. Durian is called the king of fruits here in Southeast Asia. It has important minerals and nutrients such as phytonutrients, and bitter melon has important health benefits as well, which aid your brain health. Markets, especially the crypto market, undergo a lot of things that are healthy, such as rocky dips and consolidation phases, which are hard to stomach as well. They are, at the end of the day, though, a net positive. And speaking of healthy, let's talk about this week, specifically May 8th, the beautiful, beautiful day of May 8th, the start of the golden bull run we've been waiting on. The market exploded out of the blue, making a lot of people lose their sense of being. 1 minute it's serene and peaceful and you're enjoying a quiet bowl of pho. And then bam, 1,000 motorbikes appear out of nowhere, horns blaring and heading in different directions. But somehow, they're all moving forward, mostly. Did anyone see Ethereum up over 20% in 24 hours? I nearly spat out my banh mi. My portfolio went to maybe I can afford premium fish sauce this month to, is that a good deal, on the beachfront villa in Da Nang in the span of a news cycle. So what's the rocket fuel? What lit it? Well, for starters, our friends in the UK decided to get the party started. The Bank of England, bless their tea and crumpet hearts, cut the interest rates down from 4.5 to 4.25. Meanwhile, the US Fed, they're sitting on their hands, humming the same old higher for longer tune. It's like watching a race where one runner decides to sprint while the other is just sitting there tying his shoes. Meanwhile, the Fed keeps trying to tiptoe around the obvious elephant in the room, Trump and his tariffs, which are causing chaos in the markets globally. The UK basically said, okay, let me go ahead and print some optimism. And the market, starved for any good news that wasn't any good news, they went absolutely bonkers. Capital markets start flowing in. Risk assets got a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart, and crypto naturally was the first to grab its surfboard. But wait, the real champagne stopper, the cherry on top, was the announcement of the U.S. Comptroller of Currency.
Here at the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, we've confirmed that national banks and federal savings associations may engage in certain cryptocurrency activities responsibly in order to serve their customers. OCC-regulated banks may provide custody services, including the safekeeping and secure storage of cryptocurrencies and other digital assets.
Banks in the good old USA can now officially, properly, legally hold crypto on their balance sheets. Yes, very positive. So let me count the ways that all of this is bullish. This isn't just some intern getting a Coinbase account. This is institutional validation on a silver platter. It means easier access for big money, for your pension funds, for your grumpy Uncle Barry, who still thinks Bitcoin is just the buying dodgy things online. It means liquidity. It means stability. And it signals that grown-ups are finally ready to play in our sandbox. For this cycle, it means that the floodgates are creaking open. And this isn't just a ripple, it's a potential tsunami of capital, a lot more than we've seen when Bitcoin ETFs were first approved last year. So the big question, the one you're messaging me about at 3 a.m., Bitcoin's ending price for this cycle. Looking at my crystal ball powered by Sento Choi, with the rate cuts becoming the new global fashion, I'm seeing a very comfortable 240,000 per Bitcoin, as I've said before. Some has even went as high as 295,000 for this cycle. But don't quote me. If I'm right, the Cafe Suda or the BS Saigon is all on me. And if I'm wrong, we'll just have to blame the Fed or Donald T. Now let's shift gears. While Bitcoin is the undisputed king, the boom cha of the crypto world, we need to talk about the queen, Ethereum. My friends, Ethereum is a one-way ticket to 14,000 by the end of the cycle. Mark my words. Why am I so bullish? Well, let's break this down. First, institutional adoption. Among the altcoins, Ethereum is the darling. It's the one that the institutions understand, or at least attempt to. It's got the smart contracts, the ecosystem, the most dApps, developers. It's the digital oil, the decentralized supercomputer. When big money dips its toes into Bitcoin, Ethereum is where they're going to go for a swim. Second, real world assets. Ethereum is leading the charge, tokenizing everything from real estate to your neighbor's prize winning bonsai tree. Sonium, $10 trillion BlackRock, who just met with the SEC on theirs, are both utilizing ETH for their RWA chains. Stablecoins. The overwhelming majority live and breathe on Ethereum. It's the bedrock. Third, and this is the big one, the approval of ETH ETFs with staking. We're hearing whispers. It's coming very soon. Imagine, not only can you buy Ethereum as easy as a stock, but with the ETF itself, it's staking the ETH, generating more yield for you, for investors like yourself. It's like buying a high growth tech stock that pays a juicy dividend. The demand for that, it's going to go through the roof, I'm telling you. A supply shock is waiting to happen. Fourth, Pectra upgrade. Remember that? It went live. Smooth as a silk alloy. And the token burn since then, with EIP 1559 doing its job and Pectra making the network more efficient and thus more attractive for transactions, we're seeing a massive amount of ETH being burned, permanently removed from the supply. And less supply, increased demand. You don't have to be a financial wizard to figure out what that's going to do to the price. And finally, the macroeconomic environment. We touched on this earlier. That risk-on sentiment is still brewing as the Fed and other central banks inevitably pivot later this year, because let's face it, economies can only take so much tightening before they start screaming mercy. Money will flow back into assets like crypto, of course, and Ethereum, with its utility and institutional appeal, will be a prime beneficiary. So, 14,000 for Ethereum is not just a dream, in my opinion. It's a calculated trajectory. Okay, one more piece of delicious gossip for the grapevine. Y'all remember the saga, the epic, the never-ending story of SEC versus Ripple? That lawsuit that's been running longer than your favorite Korean drama? Well, grab your celebratory pho, because the SEC finally, formally dropped its last appeal against Ripple. It's over. Done. Ketuk. Now, what does this mean for the XRP price? This is where it gets interesting. That regulatory cloud that's been hovering over XRP for what seems like a lifetime, it's gone, vanished, and poof. This could mean relisting on many of the crypto exchanges globally, a massive wave of renewed investor confidence, and a green light for partnerships and adoption that were previously stuck in legal limbo. XRP holders, or XRP Army as they like to be called, who've shown the patience of a saint meditating in a Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi traffic jam, they might finally see their day. And will they be buying Lambos? Maybe not tomorrow, but a significant price appreciation. Maybe $10, maybe $12, maybe more if the spot ETFs for XRP are approved here in short order. I'd say the odds just got a whole lot better of any of these scenarios happening at 4 or 5 or 6x, of course, from its present price. It's like the market can finally breathe a sigh of a relief and say, XRP, let's see what you got, without a regulator breathing down their neck. So there you have it. A golden bull run, banks jumping in, Ethereum aiming for the stars, and Ripple and XRP finally free. It's just another week in crypto. It's never a dull moment. Well, thanks for tuning in to Vietnam Crypto Insights. If you like the content, make sure you share this video, subscribe and like so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Stay savvy, stay safe. Maybe one day we'll be all sipping coconuts or cafe soda on the beach somewhere in Quy Nhon or Monier or Da Nang even. Sooner than we think. Until next time, Tam Bit. Keep it coffee and crypto, and I'll see you next time.